Hey everybody, welcome to Business in a Box. My name's Maria Marquis, and in this little section, we're going to take a look at meetings. Because no matter what industry you're in, you're probably having to show up for meetings at some point in time. And I want to share some of my favorite ways to create a meeting structure using Coda. So let's start off with the first part, which is how can we make sure that people show up for the meeting, ready, prepared, and engaged to have a discussion. So here we are in a blank Coda doc that we're going to use as our meetings hub. Now the first thing we need to do is we need to decide what do people need to update before that meeting. Maybe it's a status, what are you going to work on, how are you feeling? And I'm actually going to share what my team does for our weekly meeting before the meeting. So let's set up our status tracker. So we're going to call this Team Status. And as always, we want to choose a nice icon. I'm going to choose the Vulcan because I like to think very deeply about my meeting preparation. Live long and prosper. So let's go ahead and add a table because the table is going to be a way that we can structure how we feel every meeting. So we'll go ahead and do slash and table. That slash sign, remember, is the way that you can get to everything that Coda has to offer. There we go. Now we're going to call this team goals. So the first thing we want is a person, right? Who is the person on the team? So we'll call this the teammate, and we're going to make the column type B instead of text. We're going to use that handy little people column, which means that everyone who's part of the doc with you becomes part of this drop-down menu. And then we can say, all right, how are you feeling? My team always likes to just do this tracker to see like, how energized are you? Are you feeling psyched? Are you feeling a little bit low energy? Where do you feel with that? And instead of having that be a text column, what we can do is we can add a little bit of fun by using the icon scale column type. So we'll go there, back on up to options, and we're going to choose the scale option. Now I understand that not everybody's into stars, and that's okay. That's why we include a bunch of these other icons that you can choose. So maybe your team is a coffee cup team. That's what my team uses to show how much energy we have. Maybe, it's a Friday. You want to change it to a little martini here, thumbs up, hearts, chili peppers. Entirely up to you to decide what's our team culture. But again, I'm going to stick with the coffee cup because my team always likes to say, how energized are you this week? Now we could have this be on a scale of 5 or anywhere between 1 and 10, up to you. I think 5 works pretty well here. And then what we're going to do is goals for the week. So what are you trying to accomplish? And we're going to leave that just as a basic text field. So this is just a starter option, but we can go ahead and add as many of these columns as you like. Maybe you want to include a drop-down menu for what days you're going to be out of the office, or maybe you want to include a place where people can add questions, or maybe you want to have a link to images, or something that my team does. We actually have a column that is for what song are you listening to this week, or what song do you really like, using the Spotify pack to connect things together. The idea is that this status table should be all about your team, your team's culture, and what everybody should do before the meeting. What are some of the things we want to gather? So we've got our baseline here, but now we need to add the process. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little button right on the top by doing slash and button. We're going to choose new button right here, and now we can configure this. So what we can do is we can make this button be the way that everyone can just quickly add their status. So what we'll do is we'll name the button. We'll call this the status button. Then here we can say, add your status. Then the action we want this button to take is to add a row to that handy little table we just made. And then I like to do the preset value here so that it automatically uploads whoever is using the button. So we're going to say for the teammate, what we can do is say equals the user. This is a handy little formula, super easy. You just do that and it automatically detects who's using the button and updates that row to be with their name. And then you could choose open the row for editing, which is a nice way to create a form-like experience, which I'll show you in just a moment. And then you decide the color and the vibe you're looking for. I'm going to choose purple and we'll do the coffee cup there. So now when someone clicks on add your status, you can go ahead and update how are you feeling. This is that open row for editing where you can see that form experience, and I can have my goal be produce this video, and my next one will be host a few webinars. So now we've got my status there. Go ahead and remove these other rows. Another thing that you might want to add here is a column to be the date. And this can also be updated using your formula. So let's head back to that button. And now we can add another one of these set values. And for the date, we'll just choose equals today. Another handy little formula here automatically detects today's date and puts it in. So if I were to use this again, I'm feeling really energized now. Same as before. Now notice the date automatically gets populated. Why that's helpful is you could then add a filter here, because we don't want to see everybody's status week over week over week. We just want to see this week. So we can do a filter and say, all right, the date is equal to this week. So it only shows me the things that meet that option. So we've got this set up, and now everyone can use that button to add their status before that team meeting. Now, I understand that not everybody can have a personal assistant, bringing them coffee, bringing them macaroni and cheese, bringing them all the things they need, handling their calendar, whatever it might be. And that's why I like to treat Coda as my assistant. And while Coda can't bring me coffee, it can send out notifications reminding people to do things. So what I'll do is I will go to this little gear menu and I will choose automations. And I'm going to add a new rule, and this is going to be when. And in this case, maybe my team meeting is on Mondays at 10 a.m. So what I could choose is at Monday at 9 a.m., I want Coda to remind people about what's going on. So I'm actually going to choose to notify to all of the people who are in that teammates area, or you could even put just their standard names as well. You could say, remember to update your status before our meeting. See you there. Now, when we turn this rule on, that's automatically going to send that notification to everybody every single day. And even though this is just being notifications via Coda, you could also have this be connected to an email. You could do that as well using the Gmail pack. The idea being you want to make sure that Coda can take care of your process so you don't have to worry about it. All you have to worry about is showing up for that meeting, and you'll automatically have everybody's status right here ready to go. So that's the first part, getting everybody ready for the meeting. Another thing that I like to include in this pre-meeting area is a spot for people to log different agenda items that they want to discuss during the team meeting. And we're going to do the same thing as before, just using a table. And I'm actually going to use a little template here by doing / and topic voting. This is one of my favorite little in-doc templates. It allows you to do so much really quickly. So by adding this, it's going to automatically create a little setup for me. Notice this is using a very similar pattern that we have up here with our team goals, except the button is now called Add a Topic, and we have a topic voting table. So how this table works is you can just click Add a Topic, and I could say I want to discuss the new marketing strategy. And we'll get rid of these other rows. We don't need them. And now more people could click on that. But the thing I like is we have this little voting column. So other people can say, oh yeah, that's important to me too. And this table automatically sorts by that. So what kind of pizza should we eat? This is obviously a critical one. So I'm going to upvote that. And notice it shifts it around so we automatically see what's most important to the team. So what our team gets is the ability to flag things that we need to talk about and also to show what's most important to everybody in the organization. So these are two that I love. It allows us to start our team meeting with a really good understanding of how folks are feeling, what they're working on, as well as what we need to really spend our time talking about so we know we're always working on the most important things. So with that, we've got our pre-meeting all set up. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about how to use Coda during the meeting to manage our notes. All right, have some fun, and I'll see you next time.